Ornenbu Canal. I'm getting some stuff done really quick, and then I'm going to start drawing. I'm just putting some. I'm doing some social media stuff really quick, and then I'm gonna get going. I know it's kind of low speed right now, but folks will start trickling in a minute. I swear I'm gonna get right to it, guys. Just give me a minute. can't just be. Oh shoot! You know what? I didn't finish that dude's arm. Here, I'm gonna put all this in. Good morning, Wagnus. How you doing this fine Thursday morning? I'm gonna do what I did yesterday. I'm gonna start off with this drawing to kind of warm up a bit. And then I shall get to the cartoon. Yeah, well, good morning to you then. I've been up I've been up for this point about 4 hours. But I'm hanging in there, you know? Alright. So the last order of business I really have to do right now is get this dude over here kind of figured out. So let's figure his arms out and get a good silhouette. Alright. What's going on, Mush? Good morning to you. Damn, I need some caffeine. Oh, wait, I got some caffeine. What am I doing? Oh, it's my last one. Bummer. So yeah, I kind of resumed work on my animation yesterday, and actually made pretty substantial progress on it, I think. Um, but I kind of liked where I spent the morning kind of warming up on it, still drawing, and that kind of made my animation a little better. So I'm gonna repeat that process. Yeah, Moors. What time is it over there? You're in Russia, right? What I believe Western Russia. You're in what? I think Moscow or Volgograd. Well, Blackthorn. I suppose my first choice would have been Spider-Man if I can go back, but I chose She-Hulk in this case because of we had watched the show, and my animation was kind of a born of a spur of the moment thing. I was gonna make a really quick animation, like a really quick quickie, but it ended up evolving into that 3 month one, and I guess the rest is history, man. But my main thing is that She Hulk is a really interesting character, and the show blew it. The show absolutely blew her character. So, all right, I gotta do something really quick. So, for all of you, for all of you dirty-minded people out there, this might make you chuckle a little bit, but I have this pretty cool tool. I have this really awesome, actually, artist tool. It's called Sticky Bones. Let me send you guys a let me send you guys a link to show you what that is. But right now, I'm having a bit of trouble. Um, I'm having a bit of trouble actually. Um, you know what? I'm just gonna put the. It won't let me send the link because it's too long. But here, check this um out. I actually, when this thing was still on Kickstarter, Sticky Bones, I actually invested in it, and I got some of the early models. But it's a really cool like tool that allows you to like like seriously pose um in all kinds of manners an artist tool like so like those wooden mannequins you got that sort of do the job. This one's like a more advanced version of it. So the problem is like right now I'm having trouble figuring out what I want to do with Desperado's oh my god, my character's missing a finger. What the hell happened to my character's finger? God dang, do I need to order a new one? Oh, that sucks. Whatever. Let me see what's going on in the chat. All right, Mush. Uh, huh. November 13th, eh? Well, it might be a little too late to make a fan art celebrating that exactly. But maybe I'll look into doing that for when it gets to her 50th. All right, so right now I'm trying to pose this character out so I can have him looking so I can have his arm not just I can have it actually doing something. I just gotta figure out what that thing is. Every day, every day, there's always well, the struggle is real, isn't it? All right, you guys can't see it, but like right now, I'm I'm moving this little artist mannequin around. It's called Sticky Bones. All right, I'm actually gonna get it up. I'm gonna get up and act. There. So actually, he's gonna have his chest out and his shoulders back, looking up. Thank you, Blackthorn. If I could do the sign over again, there might be some things I would do differently. But yeah, I'm kind of glad. I'm kind of glad it got. Kind of glad it got some attention. You know, it's kind of funny. I commented on a video on YouTube, and someone was like, "What the hell is the She-Hulk guy? What the hell is he doing here?" And I was like, "Holy shit! Am I becoming the She-Hulk guy?" That's okay, but I need to branch out to something. I need to branch out to something else a little. I need to branch out to something else at some point here. I don't want to just become the She-Hulk guy, but at the same time, you know, when I'm on a project, I want to stick with it. All right, hang on. Wish I had an something elevated to put this on. Whatever, this will work. All right, so go ahead. I don't have any smoothing. Felt like I did. By the way, if you're using smoothing, for if you draw and you use smoothing, I would seriously recommend you take it off. Like it's more of a hindrance than anything, if you ask me. You don't actually improve your line work if you rely on it. Okay, that's actually it's not extreme enough. Let's see. So I gotta remember that I'm drawing a dude here, so it's okay if I well, the thing is, whenever I'm drawing, Jun, she has pretty big arms as well, so it's not like it's a major change. Yeah, that was distracting. So here we got his other elbow and his other shoulder. Yeah, pencil and paper is an excellent, an excellent way to improve your lines. Well, actually, to improve as an artist in general. That's the thing about digital work is it doesn't it can't magically just do all the work for you. You still gotta have the fundamentals in place for sorry, I'm trying to multitask here. It's more right now I'm just trying to get a generalized location for his arm. Let me flip it. See if I can't notice anything different. All right. So chaotics, what's your favorite medium? Hey, Matthias. Okay. What are some important fundamentals? So one of the big ones that I didn't harp on as much as I should have was just learning volume control. So one thing that everyone always tries to do is they want to learn how to shade, but there's a lot more to shading than just, or there's a lot more to volume than just shading. There's also like line weight. Um, well, actually, line weight, um, contours, um, perspective. Those are all pretty massive. So that's what I would say. So one is volume control, and you learn that by like practicing drawing like shapes and stuff. I know it seems kind of redundant and oftentimes it's a little boring, but the thing is, it teaches you very important lessons that carry over towards drawing more complex shapes. And even now to this day, I still struggle with it. So I need to go back once in a while and just practice shapes. Hey, Johnny. All right, so that's that dude. So let me get his neck. It's kind of in a weird spot, isn't it? All right, let's see. So that's well, those are all. I mean, animation and comics are great, um, but you still have to go back and you have to practice illustration. Otherwise, you can draw comics all the live long day, but it will never look quite like you imagine it in your head. You got to give yourself the tools. Oh, another big thing, chaotics. Um, one thing that if you're just starting out, one thing you might hear from some people is that when you use reference, that's like cheating. That's a load of baloney. That's not true. So one thing you should probably get into your head a little early is you got to make use of reference, man. A lot of it. Nothing wrong with it. It's something that all artists do. I don't think I've ever met an artist who didn't use reference. Oh yeah, it's a bold-faced lie. I don't know who first said it, but they were setting so many people up for failure, unfortunately. That said, like one of my favorite animators, Milk Hall, an old school Disney guy, Disney legend actually. He didn't use reference all that much. He was just kind of that. He was just kind of that talented. But one thing that people misconstrue about him is that he was against reference. He didn't like it and he looked down on those who used it. He figured, if you need it, then you should use it, and if it helps you, then you should use it. It just wasn't necessary for him. That said, he was also kind of a renowned. He was kind of a renowned, well, a renowned. He's kind of a renowned, well, jerk. People didn't like him that much that worked with him, but at the same time, he can't deny his skill. So hello, Nayland. Same thing as yesterday, man. We're starting off with still drawing here, and then we shall move on to animation here in about. Well, I really do want to stick to about an hour because yesterday I felt like we were finally on a good track. Hey, DJ. Chaotix. One thing you could that's a good thing to do. That's observational drawing. Um, but one thing I don't know what it is you want to draw. Like, what do you want to draw? Like animals, people, what? Well, in any case, whatever you decide to do, you're gonna need to practice your observational skills and draw things that interest you. So if you're just drawing like random shapes, that's okay. It's just you run the risk of getting bored and dropping it. So when you're ready to kind of like advance a little bit, um, what I recommend is well, you find out what it is you want to draw, and you start going out and looking for it. Like me, I like drawing people. What's going on, Seg? I'm having to do some drawing on this particular guy or this particular angle because I didn't actually flesh that out properly yesterday. So I gotta do that really quick before I actually start drawing out anyone else. Okay. But yeah, you gotta draw the things that interest you. The things that interest me generally are military. So when I'm done with like, well, not when I'm done, but pretty soon actually, I'm probably gonna take a hiatus from drawing She-Hulk for a while and go back to doing military stuff. So what do you want to draw, Chaotix? What is your deal? What do you want to make? That's one question that everyone needs to know the answer to before they actually want to before they embark on this. It's like, what do you want to do with your skill? You know, because in the end, like it's something that you don't just you pick up one day and then you just do it and then you're magically you're magically talented. I mean, you could be magically talented for all I know, but even the super talented dudes, you know, they don't just like do it and then they just stop practicing. Like that's not how that works. It's gonna be a long endeavor. Like you gotta think about it in the long game. So hang on, let me draw his hand. He could have been. All right, hang on, I gotta get his hand there. So here's his. It's kind of a crappy hand, but it's just placement. So I'm gonna lightly erase that and go over it. So for now, though, that'll get the job done. So then, let's see. There's his pants. I'm gonna need to go over his pants again. He has a bunch of stuff hanging off of his belt, which is gonna factor in over here. So let me actually go and let me establish those actually. So on his character design, he has his whiskey container. I don't know why I said that like that, like a Scot whiskey. So yeah, he's got his whiskey. This is actually a bandolier, so there's a bunch of like bullets and stuff. Yada yada yada. Okay. Oh, it's like an owl holster. That's pretty cool, actually. I'm gonna go ahead and draw that in. An owl holster. How cool. I'm looking at the reference that the commissioner sent me. So it's hanging off like that and coming down like that. Yada yada yada. All right, so here's gonna be where his face is. So get a little, and since we're in perspective, we gotta kind of have that happening. So we got a little bit of the chest hair, so to speak, and then all of this is his little wings. This is kind of silly. So let's see. People, monsters, robots. Okay, well, all of those are pretty cool. The good thing is, as you learn, you'll have time to really nail what it is you want. Knowing how to do all of that, being like a jack of all trades, being able to draw anything, is definitely an option. At some point, though, you might you might find a specialty that you like. You know. All right, so here's actually where he's. I mean, you know what? Let me move the whiskey container so that way that's not in the way of this. So as you go, you might find a specialty, but you won't know until you do it. So okay, so boom. Okay, that's the coolest. Like that's the coolest. That's a really stupid holster actually, but I love it. An owl holster. It's kind of funny. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna give him his whiskey container, but not to where it's meshing completely. Yeah, I don't want to cause a tangent. All right, let's see. So, hold on. I'm gonna develop his sleeves just a little more. Kind of want. So, I don't think this was part of the original request, so to speak. But I kind of wanted to have this guy kind of like being like a suave sort of gunslinger Clint Eastwood type. And he's got his hand against the wall, being like, hey, I'm a gunslinger. It's a hell of a thing seeing so many men wasted so badly. One of those kind of guys. Trying to act all like badass and stoic and all that. And it's all going to be kind of undone over here. All right. I just got to get all of this kind of situated. I might include a couple little tears in his poncho. So one thing I actually still struggle with is clothing. I know it to a certain degree. I still need a lot of references for that though. So whenever I'm doing imagination with clothes, my work really suffers. So that's something I gotta actually go back to the drawing board with. Oh yeah, do you feel lucky, punk? Do you? My favorite rendition of that line comes from Scary Movie 2, when that dude in the wheelchair, he has his little plasma gun or whatever, and he's holding up the ghost, and he's like, "Do you? Do you feel lucky, punk? Do you feel lucky? Do you feel lucky, punk?" Just him going off on doing it over and over again. I absolutely love that part, and I'm just like, you freaking people, you people suck. There was also that time that dude did it in The Mask. And I'll bet you guys want to ask yourself just one question: do I feel lucky? What the hell? Is that what the hell kind of satchel is that? I can't really make sense of it. Alright, whatever. I'll just draw the goddamn band. Let's see. Oh yeah, Bruce. He did say it in Bruce Almighty, didn't he? No, I was thinking of The Mask, but that is the same actor, isn't it? Jim Carrey. Be careful what you wish for, punk. Yeah, Clint Eastwood, man. That dude's that's a weird dude. Oh yeah, Jim Carrey does a great Clint Eastwood impersonation. I love his impersonation. Now, yeah, I probably should have had all of this like clothing stuff squared away yesterday, but whatever. Here we are. So this isn't really his. This isn't his butt. It's like clothing folds, which we're gonna start getting into more down here. Here's where his pant zipper comes down and starts to kind of come over. It's gonna ride the front. No. All this jazz over here as well. Okay, so I gotta give his boots a little bit of attention. Um. What's that latest? What's that latest run of She-Hulk? I forget what the hell it was called. I'll have to look up the name. But I do have a favorite. I don't actually read comics so much, but when it came to studying this character, I did deep dive into her comic history. I just don't remember them all. So I might actually have to start looking into more reading them on a more dedicated level. I'm not really a huge comic guy. You know what I mean? I guess you could say I'm kind of a normie. It's just I'm more of an animator. I like animation more. Cool. I think we're kind of he's got something behind his back. I'll give him a second bandolier. Just to kind of make that whole section there just a little more not so even. All right. So all of this is clothing fold. And just to kind of break up the back a little bit, I added a little cape. Wolfman. I'm not too fond of the Hulk in the MCU right now. He's being turned into kind of a joke. Professor Hulk. Like, it's like a joke they're in on that they take pride in, like, doing. Like, they absolutely ruined him. Okay, these actually, you know what? There should be 2 fingers here. Yeah, that's the last. Then I'll develop them way. Get to the line work phase over here. Now his hands look kind of, well, they'll do the trick at least. Okay. Cool. All right, that's enough for that. So what that means is now I can go over here. Well, you know what? Let me give him his little. He got his little stupid buckle on his hat. Let's see. You know, the funny thing is, this reference that I'm using right now was pulled from Red Dead Redemption 2, and like the dude Toro, if you're here, like I've already told you this, and I'm gonna say it again. This dude looks like an O'Driscoll. He looks like someone Arthur Morgan would have shot in the story mode. Game O'Driscolls. All right. So these are fine. I'm gonna go ahead and start developing this dude over here. So let me get rid of these. Oh, actually, that's all the stuff that I just did, isn't it? So, what I'm gonna do first off, save often, save always. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff going on here, and I'm gonna have to make sense of all of it. Okay. So we still got that holster. Okay. Hooty hoo, hooty hoo. However, it is writing a little too low. It's also too small. So like that right around there. Cool. So then that's that other holster behind him. Boom. So then these are his trousers. So let's see. And yeah, I called them trousers. What you gonna do about it, sucker? In the Marine Corps, we called our pants trousers. So whenever I see like old school pants or military pants, I still call them trousers out of habit. All right, so I gotta get rid of that sort of inward turn of his waist. He's not a woman, so let's see. So fuck his arms a little. Yeah, I'm buying that. Cool. Okay, so that's his posterior. Okay. So as we get kind of further down here, that's where the boots will begin. Okay. So I'm gonna need to this is actually a good guide, but we're gonna need to draw the details over it. So let's go ahead and get that going. So I'm gonna leave that alone for a little while. I'll come back to it. So what do I want to keep? So I want to keep the hat. His head is gonna be changed up. His neck is okay. That's his guideline for his hair. The guideline for the cape is fine. Well, actually, no, it isn't. It's gonna need to be altered. Okay. I'm going through all of the the parts on his body, and just I'm simplifying things. I'm getting rid of like fill-ins for certain shapes, just so that way I can see them clearly. Okay, that's like his little red. Wolfman. I don't really have an opinion on the Captain America movie itself, so I guess not really. I've kind of checked out of the MCU. Not to say that they're bad movies. I just genuinely don't care anymore. All of these can go down here. So I guess the answer to your question is no opinion. Reason is because I genuinely don't care. MCU's played out, if you ask me. They managed to take a multi-million-dollar franchise and absolutely just destroy it. It's honestly impressive. Just how much damage they did over the course of a couple of years. Like whoever called the shots, whoever called the creative shots for Marvel, after the end of Endgame, like they should be fired. Okay. So his arm is gonna come down like that. So it's gonna be somewhat long. So which means the cuff is not gonna be so curved because it's a relatively straight on view. So okay. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do some hand work. Super big pistol. So I'm gonna have it hang out over here actually. Which means I'm probably gonna need to have it yeah, that's right, man. We need to start figuring out how we can dual stream at the same time. The best way that's gonna be possible is on Twitch. Alright. So let me get my hand guide. You know what? Before I go too far, let me just make some erasers. I'm actually gonna need to bring this hand up a tad, and then this hand about the same. So, that's fine. So we have that. Oops. Um, Wolfman. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about some original characters that I have that deal more in my own personal, like, my own personal OCs and whatnot. So yeah, I do have some ideas. I just gotta I just gotta one project at a time, you know what I mean? See, right now I already took on a project with She-Hulk that I gotta finish up before I can think about what I'm gonna do. Well, I already know kind of where I want to go next, but I'm kind of not there right now, thinking too much about it. Okay. Okay, so got a lot going on beneath the hood here. Okay, cool. You mean like having my stream active on your computer, or like in your stream? I mean, that's not terrible. I guess you could do that if you want. Yeah, okay, that's not right. That's coming too far down. So it actually would be coming more straight across like that. His arm would be coming up. So all of this would be engulfed in darkness. So which means all of this. I'm working on too many layers. I need to get rid of a couple. Easy trap to fall into. All right, let me get this all sorted out. So all of that needs to go. I'm just gonna merge them all. Yeah, man, go for it. Thanks for asking. Let me get my hand guide. Nothing wrong with that. Animation is a wonderful art form. So I'm going to try to keep things a little simple. And if his hand doesn't look like perfect, that's okay. I'm not really trying to go for a perfect hand. I'm just trying to get a shape that can be understood by someone. All right. Yeah, that's believable. All right. Now let's go ahead and get rid of that. Oh yeah, chaotics. When you're drawing, just try to remember that a lot of drawing is observational. So you're not trying to get to the point where you can just draw from imagination, so to speak. That shouldn't be a goal straight away. Your goal should be to try to observe patterns and try to try to improve your observation and hand-eye coordination. All right, hang on. Yeah, hand-eye coordination. I know it's a popular term for like gamers and video games, but um, it's life or death when it comes to drawing. You gotta trust your hand to translate what your eye sees, and that's what drawing is at its core. You're drawing what you see. That's why every artist is a little different. You know, we all see different things. All right, so here's the other finger. Cool. So here's that. Here's that. I wish I had a stand for this thing. All right, hang on. Let me do this. So, and one thing you're gonna have to bite the bullet on at some point is anatomy. At some point, you're gonna have to sit down and truly study it. There's no way around it. You gotta hit the books. So when that day comes, just immerse yourself in it and have some fun. You know, learning is doesn't all it's not all homework when it comes to this kind of thing. You could probably find the you can find what WUK means in my channel description. It's the very first thing that you find in my channel box. Oh, right on, Say. What are you drawing today? You doing some more of that are you doing some more of that animation you showed me? Damon, you can find what WUK means in my channel box. Right on, man. So his hands might be a little on the big side. Let's see. Oops. So these hands are actually okay. I kind of drew them quickly. Hey Toro, just I'm working on your commission a little more, getting some things kind of squared away with the sketches there. I've been in the sketch phase for a little while because this is I mean there's a lot of drawings here, but I'm trying to move on to actually starting the line work today. Damon, I'm not going to answer that question. If you want to know what WUK means, go to my channel box in my YouTube channel. But yeah, I'm going to finish that up. And by the time we move into today, hopefully by the time we move into the end of the day, I will have completed the line work. Well, here, let me show you where we are. So this is where we're at present. Oh shoot, I just realized I haven't had music playing this whole time. I'm so sorry. Ask Toro. That the cowboy is his original character. No questions right now. We're just working our way forward, man. Yeah, I've been yapping too much today. Let's see. I'm getting some of the details in there just kind of softened up so we don't have any too many conflicting areas. So that's one of his bandoliers, that's his other bandolier. There's like his... All right, cool. Yeah, I've kind of taken to calling them just Desperado. Let me get some hair drawn in for him up here. So Kind of got the Sophie from the end of Howl's Moving Castle thing going on. So. Slime. I don't even really gotta define all the fingers, actually. I'm just kind of help. Alright, so here's this. Alright, Sag. We shall be here when you get back. There's that here. Okay. Is anyone looking forward to Subnautica 2? I don't know. Is anybody? I never actually heard of this either. Sorry. I think we're kind of getting to a point where I can start drawing it. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to keep the original layers down here. But I'm going to go ahead and make a duplicate and I'm going to start drawing it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with Jennifer. She's kind of the centerpiece of all this. So before I do that though, I'm gonna make this a lot bigger. Okay, I actually gotta pause this for 1 second. I'll be right back. Ah, shit. All right, so I'm gonna start off with Jennifer's face. All right, I'm gonna view it horizontal like. All right. So let me. Where's my cursor? There it is. All right, I've got all my. I always like having Jennifer's ear out. I don't know why, but I like doing that. Heavy. Oh, which comes back. So I need to try. I like giving her a straight jaw, but I also want to keep it soft. So straight lines, but at the same time don't go too hard with like the cheekbones or the jawline. I like to kind of make sure her face somewhat retains its original original shape. So I don't mind. Her original jaw or chin is sort of pointy, but when she hulks out, I expand it a little bit, but keep it soft. Right. So there's where the nose comes down. So drawing noses is actually I'm not bad at drawing noses. I don't particularly. It's not my favorite part of the face to draw, but I can do it. It's just I like to keep it simple. I've got a whole page in my sketchbook. Well, not page. I've got like a whole section of my sketchbook dedicated to the facial features. One facial feature per page, which is like an intense study. And the nose was a pretty big part of it. So let me get her eyes. I kind of want to go the B route. So let's start getting it. Let's see. Sternocleidomastoid comes out behind the ear, and the hair kind of rides. You know what? It's a cartoon. I'm gonna keep her hair tie. Not her tie, but her headband. Subnautica. I'll look into it. I never heard of it. What's it about? Like, what's the objective of the game? And I haven't played video games in a while. I should probably get back into it at some point. So, her, well, this is the right way. Which way does her hair flow? It flows to her left. So, this is actually going the right way. So, well, no, here's the thing. Damn it. I have it going both ways on my character designs. I didn't keep it consistent. I screwed that up. So I need to pick a direction. In this case, I kind of like how it flows to her right. So I'm gonna go ahead and just stick with it. Oh, okay, it's one of those survival games. Okay, I dig it. I haven't really been into the games like that in a while. I used to. I kind of I cut back on video games a lot over the years. Just kind of, I don't know, sort of lost interest, but I still do enjoy me a good game once in a while. It just needs to be, it needs to be something story driven or multiplayer, like dedicated multiplayer. I'm usually not, in between it anymore. Okay. So. I'm gonna start off doing Jen's face first, or drawing Jennifer's face first on both of her forms. So, hair. I'm gonna have her hair poofing out. So let me come down. I gotta do it like this now. I don't know why I had it on pressure. Okay. So let me do this first. Let me define where her leotard rides down. So then here's where her sternocleidomastoid swings down. So then got a little bit of her Adam's apple. I don't mind pronouncing her Adam's apple when she's hulked out, because you know she's hulked out. So let's see. So cool. So let me come over here, and that's where her traps bleed into her shoulder. Here we have her bicep. It's a little too even. Yeah. All right, so I might need to go a little smaller with my strokes for trying to draw the interior of her body. I gotta allow myself to play a little fast and loose here. Oh, that's right. Before I go on to the body, let me go and do the normal version of her face. I might take a break here in a little bit, guys. I can feel my eyes starting to strain just a little. Alright. I want to just do her face all as one. And then I will put in the glasses on their own. Okay, so there's... What's going on, lasagna? It's an OC by the person who commissioned me. His name is Despe Desperado. Well, Rado Desperado. But he accidentally called him Despe Desperado in a typo, and well, it kind of stuck for me. But yeah, a little before and after action here. All right, I gotta take a break. I will be back in about 10 minutes. I've been drawing for like an hour and a half at this point. Actually, guys, I'm gonna go have a quick smoke. I haven't smoked in a little while, so I'll be back in a little bit. But Tora, once I'm done smoking, I'll probably work on this for another like half hour or so, and then I gotta move on to my animation. But this should be done in another. Well, it should be done pretty soon, actually. But yeah, don't worry. I saw your comment about the gloves. Alright, I'm back. Let me go ahead and what's this? 2 people on X though. Let's do this. Probably not going to finish all of the line work this session, but I'll have enough going to where it'll be easy to pick back up once I get back into it. I'm going to go with a slightly higher line weight thickness here. There. And right around there is the edge of her breast tissue. There would be the clavicle. Alright. So get up here. I'm gonna gotta be careful not to put too much line weight on the interior of her body. Otherwise, we risk having the shapes and forms get all jumbled. Let's see. So this be the edge of her bicep, down here be the edge of her tricep. Actually, this right here is where a lot of intersecting muscles. So for those of you still in the chat, what do you dudes think of what do you guys think of Big Bang Theory? And yeah, Gary, that is a benefit to it, but I like personally doing it myself. You know, not having to go back and do it later with vectoring. I guess I'm a little bit of an elitist that way. Your mom loves that show? My wife adores that show. My wife has it on a loop sometimes whenever she's just watching TV. Seinfeld? I like Seinfeld. When I was a kid, it used to be on cable. My dad would watch it, and I've watched it. I've watched it a little bit when I got older, and yeah, it's pretty funny. Some of the jokes are kind of hit or miss, but I mean, overall, I like it. I think the best character in that show, it's not Kramer. I like George Costanza. George Costanza is so funny sometimes, dude. What do you think of it? I think I've made this point already, by the way. Don't use Try your best to avoid using smoothing whenever you're drawing your lines. It's a bit of a crutch. Oh damn, Modern Family. I haven't watched that show in forever, man. I think for her legs, so I'm gonna use 5 for her upper and I'll use 6 for her lower. Not really a huge fan of Jerry Seinfeld himself. From what I understand, the guy's kind of a jerk. I love Elaine Bennis too. Elaine is so funny. In Seinfeld, I'm still talking about Seinfeld. One of my personal favorite shows is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's probably one of the best. As somebody once described it, it's like Seinfeld on crack. The thing about It's Always... Oh, you have to watch it when you get a chance. It is, it's a truly one-of-a-kind show. I don't know if any way that I could explain it would really do it justice. I highly recommend you give it a watch when you get an opportunity. The number one problem that I had with the She-Hulk show was the main character. She was not relatable or likable in any way, and she was never challenged. She never really had any established, like, I don't know, convictions or whatever. She never really had any established wants or needs, aside from just, like, you know, getting back at, like, people who think that she's not awesome. So that was my main problem with the show, was that the main character was she was difficult to root for, shall we say. So if there was one thing I would do different, which is one thing I'm trying to do, whenever I work on anything, you need to have a character people can get behind and root for, you know. And Jen Walters in the show was, it was sort of like a deal where it's like you don't really care. If you liked her in the show, then I mean, all right, man. I'm glad you liked her. But okay, actually, you know what? On that note, tell me what you liked about her. I'm certainly curious to hear that viewpoint, because it's not one you hear very often. Not a lot of folks share your view. So what do you think? What do you like about her in the show? I'm genuinely curious. I was asking Gary. He voiced an opinion that I want to know about. I want to know more about. So let's see. So here is, I'm gonna use a different layer for that one. Where is my model layer? There we go. Ugh. So comes down, so here would be 1, 2, 3. Let me get rid of this. Oh no, I wasn't asking if the show was funny. I was saying, what about Jen Walters? What about Jen Walters made you disagree with my claim that she was never challenged? Because she seemed to have things under control. She never actually, like, I mean, she had that whole deal where she, like, you know, had to go against, like, Daredevil because, like, you know, the client with the whole, like, super suit thing. Like, that was, like, the one time when there was anything remotely interesting going on. And then we had that whole, like, you know, what do you call them, the intelligentsia? Like, that whole thing about stealing her blood and all that. Like, in the end, that she didn't even solve that herself. She had to, like, you know, go to the what do they call that? What do they call that robot? The AI robot thing. I forgot the goddamn name. But forget about the funniness for a minute. What about Jennifer Walters in that show? Seemed like, you know, like my claim of her not being challenged or relatable could be disagreed with. I'm not saying my opinion is right, because in the end, like, everyone's got their opinion on the show. That's just my opinion. But I just want to know why. Evan, that was it. You know what? I still that's still not convincing enough. Like, she was already like a good lawyer. She never really got, like, her position was never in any serious danger. There were a bunch of, like, you know, people at the firm who were like, all right, yeah, she felt human, in the sense that she is a human. But let's be real here. Like, she didn't struggle, not even a little bit. Now, I should probably note, I don't think you and I are gonna convince each other on that front. You clearly like it, and hey man, good for you. I'm happy to hear that. And see, that's the problem with the show. It's a comedy. Like, that was not a very wise creative choice, in my opinion. Yes, there needs to be comedy and levity in, you know, in shows, especially you know, Marvel, because I mean, Marvel, that's kind of the whole shindig. But the thing is, the show had more DNA with Rick and Morty than it did with any, like, you know, than it did with Marvel, in my opinion. And like, they even brought in some of the writers from Rick and Morty, and you could feel it. You could feel the mean-spirited humor in there. And I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan. Thing is, Jen Walters is a genuinely funny person in the comics. I didn't think she was funny in the show. She was actually kind of... I thought she was annoying. I thought she was extremely just... I thought she was mean to everyone around her. And those that, you know, that deserve to get, you know, for those characters who were clearly there as, like, you know, as an antagonistic force, they weren't written well either. Yeah, I suppose. Also, one character they did absolutely dirty, was Titania. Like, that whole subplot was really lame. They could have made something cool with Daredevil, but even Daredevil was just kind of like a neutered version of himself in the show. So, I don't know. But that's my opinion on the show. If I had my own take on it, or if I had my own opportunity to write for the show, I would have taken I would have taken a lot more liberties with her backstory, but liberties that don't deviate too far and would serve to test her. Because one of the main things that I would do, I mean, like in the comics, like she's a woman in a man's world, and if you want to tell that story, well, it can be very easy to become it can become very easy to become preachy, and you can lose, well, mainly your target audience of men. But at the same time, one opinion that I have of this show that always kind of irks me when I hear people talk about it, her opening rant when she was going against, well, not against, when she was talking to Bruce about like her struggles like in daily life, where she's like talking about how she's catcalled in the street and she feels generally unsafe walking around. Like I completely agree with that whole rant. I know a lot of people who take offense to it, and I think the main thing that I would take offense to is who she was saying it to. And also the fact that everything that she said in that rant is true for women on a normal everyday scale, but not for her. Like she seemed to be having things pretty locked down. Like, yeah, she had those dudes in that bar that were giving her a hard time. But that was like the one time anything like even remotely like that happened, aside from like that one lawyer dude who was like, you know, being kind of a jerk when she was going through like her opening monologue and whatever. And then her like coworker Madison's like, "No, bitch, you're a bad bitch. Get out of here." You know, like, don't let that man tell you what to do. And hey, fair enough, you know. But she should have gone through a lot more, in my opinion, to justify her going off on Bruce like that. What I thought should have happened in that case was like it could have been a good character moment for both. If it could have been a good character moment for both Bruce and Jennifer, if like that rant, like those are long held views that she fairly could have, and I agree with them. But at the same time, that would have been a moment where Jennifer could be like, "Wait a minute, like, look at like what's happening to me right now, and look who I'm saying this to." Like, if there's one guy who like has struggled, it's definitely Bruce. And Bruce could have, it could have been a bonding experience. So, missed opportunities, you know what I mean? The whole wedding thing was kind of weird too. But, that's the show they wanted to make. The problem is, as well, they made it pretty clear that one of the goals of the show was to piss off the dude fans. Well, here's my thing. What was she frustrated about? She seemed to be taking that whole thing in pretty good stride, if you ask me. Like, yeah, now like your whole situation, your whole life situation has changed. But it's like what nothing really happened in the show to me, at least, to warrant that anger. It seemed like it was more of a generalized vent. that's not enough. That's just not enough on a storytelling level to really. It wasn't so much about the going to the island thing. That was a whole rant about her experience in life, and it didn't work. It just did not work. So let me pitch something. So how I would do it, right? So I've written a couple of things out already just to kind of get the ball rolling. But how I would write Jennifer is like this. So you guys all saw Spider-Man 2, the OG one with Sam Raimi and Tobey Maguire. You guys remember how, like, in that movie, Peter Parker could, like, never catch a break, like, despite the fact that he's, like, a good dude? That's kind of how I would approach Jennifer, right? So she's got a job in a law firm, and she's a lawyer and all that, and, making her moves in the world. And, she puts in the time, she puts in the work, but at the 11th hour, like before, like she's on a case, say, and she's just about to get her big break, and be on like a pretty big case. Her like misogynistic boss, like the firm owner, like he's kind of a jerk to women, and he kind of rips that out from under her, So she can't really she's unfairly being denied opportunities. She's devoted a lot of time to her job, and it's pretty much all just being held back for no other reason at this point other than the fact that she's a woman. That would be a pretty good reason to be pissed off about, how men treat women, right? That'd be a good start. And so Bruce Banner, right, how I would write him is that, when like in the comics, they were super close when they were young, and she always kind of held a bit of resentment, when Bruce took off. She didn't really understand why he left until later. But, he comes back into the scene, she gets her powers and all that, and next thing you know, she has to deal with, becoming, a Hulk and whatever. But how I would write her, her origin is that she would actually face violence, not from a car accident, but from, like, say, like a mugger, or someone who targeted her when she was, like, on her way home from, like, the law firm or something, and she has, like, post-traumatic stress from being attacked, and that stress is like a ticking time bomb in her brain. She thinks she has it all under control, because she deals with all of these uniquely female struggles. And she figures, because, hey, I've dealt with this, I clearly have control over my Hulk form, I don't need much help. Later on, it would, like, explode, and she would, like, she would go actually crazy and become, like, Gray She-Hulk for, like, a little bit. That's kind of where I would go with her. She would, get cocky with her transformation. She would think that she has it all kind of like squared away. She doesn't take it quite so seriously because, like, she doesn't have Bruce's experience of, like, having to go on the run. And then it eventually just explodes. That's kind of where I would go with that. Okay. It's kind of getting to the point where I might need to wrap this part up for the day and start going on to my animation. Later on, I have a whole thoroughly explained treatment of how I would do Jennifer Walters' story. I'll have to show you guys later. But yeah, no, I didn't like her in the show. I felt that she wasn't challenged in any significant way. There was never any stakes to worry about. No overall point to the whole thing aside from just trying to be funny and be like a slice of life thing. I don't know. It wasn't for me. But you know what? If folks liked it, folks liked it. Good for them. But yeah, there were parts of it that I felt could have been good if the writers actually had any respect for the source material. But to me, the writers clearly didn't care. You know, Gray She-Hulk. I like the idea of Gray She-Hulk. That'd be pretty cool to see in action on the screen. All right. You know what? Let me get a little bit of Desperado. Yeah, no, I like the whole angle of you know, what women have to go through on, like, you know, in today's contemporary world. I like that whole angle. I just wish they actually explored it some more in a meaningful way. I felt that they didn't do a good job there. It could have been a lot more, you know. If you wanted a traditionally feminist icon, hey, Mr. Creeper, thank you very much, sir. And to hell with AI. AI sucks. Taking our jobs and all that jazz. It's true. It actually will become a pretty big problem if this isn't handled like immediately. Thank you, Mr. Creeper. I shall use it in the development of more material. But yeah, She-Hulk is a traditionally feminist icon that they could have done something really meaningful with her. To see what they ended up doing in the end was extremely disappointing. And it broke one of the cardinal rules of comedies, is you have to be funny. The show wasn't funny. At least to a large portion of people. It was not on Deadpool's level, not even close. So I got a little interesting tidbit about that. That's not animation. You know what the animation generally does right now? Is it takes existing live action footage, rotoscope, and creates footage out of that. It doesn't make very good animation. Oh wait, they did do an animation with that thing. It was terrible. It was absolutely, like, gross. It was that weird looking, like, owl thingy, right? I don't think anybody likes AI animation, if I'm being honest. The thing about AI animation is it's like the AI quote unquote artwork. it's self-cannibalizing. It's not able to actually create unique stuff. But yeah, support your local animators. Speak out against AI. The fact that Disney's getting ready to, like, do some more initiatives to help expand AI, that's just sick. Walt Disney was always about, like, creating new technology to help the artist, not to replace them. That's not what the guy was about. Like, I really don't think Walt Disney would be happy knowing that his company was help putting artists out of work. Walt Disney gets a lot of hell for, like, the kind of guy he was, but in the end, like, the guy really did care about the art form. That's ugly. Those are ugly fingers. But that's just not what Walt Disney did. That's not the kind of guy he was. That is one argument you can make. Walt Disney was a man of a different era, and there were decisions that he made that could have actually landed the company in financial ruin, but he always managed to come through in the end. So. And no one is ever always right, you know. Walt Disney actually had an animation company that sank before he struck gold. So even Disney can make mistakes. But no, the man was very much a pro artist kind of guy. And apparently, and one of those things I keep hearing was the dude was an anti-Semite. I've never actually seen I've never seen any convincing evidence that backs that claim. The dude was actually, well, just because he's an anti-Semite doesn't mean he would be anti-American. But he was very pro-American, and he was very much supportive of the war effort against the Nazis. So, I don't know. I don't think I have enough to claim he was the dude was an anti-Semite. Alright, I'm gonna stop working on this for a little bit. I'll come back to it later today. Yeah, Ubai works. I mean, that whole partnership ended pretty badly. Alright, I'm gonna stop this for a little bit. I'll be right back. So actually, before I move on, one thing I'm gonna have to go back and do is work on that knee. I need to see how other artists portray it. There's a lot of power found in the knee, and I have to start doing that better. I can't just make it like a single block and then just be like, well, hey, you know, imagine there's a knee there. That's not enough. So what I'll probably do this afternoon is just go back in there and just focus on that part exclusively. But what I'm going to do for now is just get it all prepped to where I can go in and work on it. You can get a lot of suggestive, you can get a lot of power if you draw that right. Like her legs has got all the muscles, but it's not gonna mean nothing if her knees don't support it. So I gotta take some time and draw that right. Everything else is coming together okay though. Toro, what do you think? This is your commission. What are you thinking so far? You kind of like where it's going? Don't worry, man. I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna get this leg figured out. Everything else is kind of coming together okay, but it's that leg is kind of giving me it's giving me some pause. But don't worry, I will get it looking right. So for now, just since I don't want to get trapped in anything later, I'm gonna get rid of all guidelines in there. Oh no, yeah, she'd massacre him. But yeah, that knee's gonna be
That knee's gonna be critical, so I'll come back to that later. And then that other leg, like, I don't think I did a proper job at, I don't think I did a proper job at even getting that figured out. Yeah, I'm gonna need to go back there, man. You know, before let me at least do what I can. So. Oh. I did that backwards. The fibula comes down like that. So, you know what? I gotta give her high heels. So here would be like, I'm gonna have to raise the character up, but if I come down, that. So I don't want her feet to be too big here, so. Yeah, her feet are too small there, actually. So let me get it more looking like. So which means that's gonna have to come. So. Yeah. So we got her. Yeah, there we go. So, okay. There. That's a good place to start. I'll come back. Okay. Yeah, I don't mind having her feet a little smaller. Somewhat stylized. But maybe just a little bit. Cool. You know what? I can live with that. So let me get her. So there's her tibula coming down. Boom. Okay, that works. Let me actually get her. I know I keep saying I'm gonna stop. Let me just. I get a couple more things, and then I swear I'll stop. I swear I'll move on to the animation. I keep having these things that I see that I want to finish. I don't mind giving her somewhat square glasses. Kind of want her to be sort of a nerdy type. Yeah, 100%. That I like the sound of that. A little more weight here. Yeah, she's very liberal with her glasses. So what I'd probably have to consider doing just for story is to make it where she gets glasses that are extremely durable and that are trackable in case, like, you know, something happens to them. Like she tosses them to the ground for some reason. Then, like, if someone decides they want to walk off with them, she doesn't necessarily need the glasses, but she would like them back. And it's like, really, dude, are you gonna steal her glasses? Like, bruh, she'll massacre you. Nice. But I have a feeling that this character wouldn't really need the glasses when she transforms. She'd probably just wear it out of out of habit. Okay, I'm gonna need to go into this. And her elbow would come. I'm gonna need to go and examine reference material for turned elbows. Okay. All right. Yeah. No, for real. This is where I'm gonna stop. But we're getting there, huh? I could probably stand and move a little faster. This reminds me, my dad used to wear cowboy boots when I was a kid. Um, well, in my universe, the Punisher actually would play if I was to I'm writing this out, right? My version of Punisher is kind of an old man. Think like Mike Ehrmantraut from Breaking Bad. How that the story with the Punisher would go is that Frank Castle has a son. Well, I mean, he obviously has a son as part of his backstory, but I'm naming his son Henry Thomas Castle, and he's a Silver Star recipient from the war in Iraq, but he's kind of he doesn't really take a lot of pride in what he did over there, but that whole shindig, right? Anyway, his father Frank was a CIA contractor, and Marine during the very later years of the Vietnam War. In fact, he probably will even miss the Vietnam War because he was too young. But he wouldn't think much of Jen because like he's kind of a hard dude to impress. He'd be like, holy like mackerel, like what the hell's going on with her? But Jen would get into a relationship with Henry Thomas Castle, and eventually, he would be killed in Iraq or Afghanistan, and his body would be desecrated, and it would piss off Frank Castle, and he'd go on his rampage. So he would have to he would basically become a domestic terrorist, and Jen would be the one to have to stop him. And obviously, Frank Castle could never beat Jennifer Walters in a fight, but he has all those years of CIA contracting. He's a professional spook, so he'd find creative ways to get one in on her. So to answer your question, he would see he would see a towering lady, and he'd be like, "Oh my god, what am I gonna do?" But he'd figure it out.
But what the son would see, Henry Thomas Castle, well, I mean, how I wrote him is they met before she turned and all that, and they develop a little bit of a shindig. He develops some interest in her, and asks her out on dates and whatever, and it just never seems to pan out. But then eventually, after she turns and she finds like the time they date, so PC's well, I mean he sees Jennifer, so that's what he sees. All right, that's it. No more. I'm done. All right, I'm gonna save this, take a small break. I'm gonna come back and work on my animation. I'll be back, guys.
So I've actually been kind of working on the side here. I actually went back and did a little bit of study on the knee. But I really do gotta step out and take my break. I was just kind of, it was bugging me. The fact that this knee just wasn't looking right, it was bugging the hell out of me. It's all good though. Fixed. Here's to show you guys what I was doing. I I had to go back and really take a look at like what the hell was going on inside the muscles, and I went and looked at a bunch of other drawings um, that do the knee. And I really had to get that squared away before I moved on. Cause it was bugging the hell. But it's looking a little better. See, I'm looking at actually, where's my there? I could buy that. I'll have to do some shading for it later, but let me just get one more little. Can't have her glutes blending in too easily here. So I need to reduce the size of the glute and bring I think that's the hamstring. I gotta bring that up. So there we go. So the hamstring comes in from over there. So I've actually got to bring all of that. Yeah. That's looking better. I might actually even bring it out just a tad more. Maybe like this. There. All right. Cool. Okay. All right, for real. I gotta take a break. Be back in 5. We're moving on to this. All right. Back to the animación. All right. So, where I'm going with it today, I'm looking to try to get up to around maybe here. I'm taking only one pass. Hang on. Here we go. All right, yeah, so I'm only taking one pass on the animation this time because I don't want to have this stretch into longer than it already has. And I think we could get away with it just fine with the line work looking the way it is. It doesn't need to be like, perfect line work or anything. As long as it's somewhat consistent. And I'll have to be taking like multiple like, back and forth passes to make sure the proportions all line up. But since someone sent me who was the one who sent me some cash today? M Creeper. Since you sent me some cash today, I'm gonna actually use that to order me some DoorDash caffeine. All right, here we go. All right. All right. So how I'm doing it right now? Try to preserve some work. I'm not gonna try to do every single drawing in 24 frames per second. I'm gonna focus most of the drawings on I'm gonna focus most of the drawings centered around the keys and the breakdowns. So I'll have in between centered around there um, to help sell the movement. Now the good thing is I'm able to actually look at what the drawing below is doing. And if I, it's hard to explain right now. Anyway, I want to turn my microphone off.